So this field lined up for race 2 of the weekend here from Hamilton. The NZV8's John McIntyre off the front row. Kane Scott alongside, and Kane was lucky in race number 1. He glanced off the wall with a couple of corners to go. He still salvaged second place, and the grid lineup here is based on the race positions from race number 1. It is a slow start down to the lights. Let them go, the revs build up. Kane Scott gets a flyer off the outside of the front row, and Anderson's going to try and follow him down into turn number 1.
Someone went down the outside. That's Booth trying to get in there as well. But this is where we saw Ori come stuck yesterday. I think the boys actually had a big talking to last night, 5 or 6 abreast, but they're all through.
No Darren Henderson with his bonnet up this time. Kane Scott leads the first lap down towards turn number 2 in beautiful sunny conditions. Race 2 for the NZV8's Eddie Bell in the middle. There was 3 wide down into 2, and it's all on now.
That's Paul Manuel getting involved in the thick of the action again.
There's a couple of
taken to the inside.
Couple of big cuts there, Mark. The Dean Pickett's on now. It's down towards 3. There was some contact with the fence further back with such a big field of 23 cars. I tell you what, it is all on for young and old for the second race. Through the chicane the first time, Scott, McIntyre, Anderson, back to Knight in 4th, Booth in 5th. Things have just settled down a little bit back in the field, but there was a fair bit of contact there, and that looked like Angus Fogg or either Kevin Williams, and one of the two, either LG or Strapping Systems cars.
In the background, as a car went wildly wide, I don't know if it made contact with the wall, but Angus Fogg, turns 1 and 2, I think he made up 5 or 6 places straight away. And that's the luxury. You can go into turn 1 from the back of the field and you just pick your moments when guys are going to start hitting each other. Yellow flag's out now. Is that a safety car? Yellow flag in the background just waving. These guys haven't been around this part of the track before, so it must be a safety car.
Yeah,
there we go.
Safety car is out, so obviously either turn 2 or turn 3. Oh, Simon Richards.
Oh my gosh, and that's actually coming into turn 3.
That's
on
what
the
we
run
saw
in the background.
Yeah, that is on the run down to Samsung turn 3. Simon Richards. He's been in the wars this weekend.
That is a big, big hit.
A lot of damage to the front of the Euro Drive number 4 Ford Falcon of Simon Richards. So here's a replay of the start. Eddie Bell decided he was going straight down the inside.
Nothing wrong. That's the smartest thing you can do, just give each other racing room. But of course, what happens now, they're 3 and 4 adrift, but they come into turn 2 and presented with the same problem as turn 1. Where do you go?
Turn 1 was clean, however, turn 2 wasn't. This is some of the action further back. This is on board with Clark Proctor.
Sandy Booth and Eddie Bell immediately in front of him. Now, right here, Eddie Bell, something happens at this point.
Yeah, Tim Edge will slip down the inside, so they're 3 wide at that point. Nick Ross got a good run out at 1 down to 2. Ross down the inside. Wasn't so much there. It was fairly congested. Lots of guys going down the inside, but it was behind them where most of the action was.
This is where we're going to see it. There's Paul Manuel going down the inside. That's John Penny right in the thick of action. Now, what happens right here?
Well, Manuel, he struggles to get a gear. There's a big lock-up for Shannon Coker on board here with Darren Henderson. And Hendo's gone around.
Okay, well, this could be a good shot here because it's going to see the back part of the field. I'm looking around the corner of the TV screen myself.
Yeah, it's happened just up in front. Coker was in the middle of it.
Wow, Simon Richards actually got 3 hits.
Yeah, there he is, creeping down that inside concrete past the 50-metre markers. So the safety car is out. Race 2 for the NZV8s. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from Hamilton after this. The safety car is in. We're back underway with the restart for the NZV8s from Hamilton. Reason for the safety car was Simon Richards in the concrete towards turn number 3. Kane Scott leads them down to 1. Scott, McIntyre, Andrew Anderson. He's made some gains early in the first Holden on track at the moment. And Mark looking very strong in the ITM Commodore right now as Eddie Bell goes defensive, trying to get by. He's battling there with Proctor.
Yeah, he's got the inside running here, but going back to what you're saying about Andrew Anderson and Andy Booth for that matter, those changes they've made to the Holdens are working. But they said it's like going back to a clean slate of paper again. They don't know where to start. The cars are so much better. So essentially the last 3 or 4 years, they can take around 10% of that information and make it useful. The rest of it they've got to throw away and start again. And you can see that's how professional this team is. 2 cars working together, 3 and 5th at the moment.
Andy Booth was saying that while the front end of the car is now good, it's upset the balance of the rear of the car, and that's where they've got to do the tuning. And not ideal situation here as Kane Scott's got oversteer. Over the curbs, Booth, he went a little bit wider than that.
Interesting, Jamie, when you hit that curb, you have to make 2 decisions instantly. You either get off the curb or you go right over and then ride the curb and come back on again, because if you try to stay in the middle of it, it's going to spit you into the wall. We saw that with Jamie Wincup and also myself. But here comes Johnny McIntyre having a hard look, but 5, 6 and 7, very difficult places to pass. He really wants to set himself up to get a nice execution out of turn 8 right now and get that draft down the straight.
Well, it was
Andrew Anderson.
right up against the concrete. We've seen that right throughout the weekend. A lot of these cars are carrying the Hamilton Street stripes on both sides of the race cars, you've got to say. Now, Kane and McIntyre have got away here from Anderson as Andy Knight's looking up the insides.
Now, if he can stay there and get the drag race, but Andrew should actually come across now and defend that. Good, smart racing.
Didn't get a good exit out of it. Just got that curve, and that's just upsetting the balance of the car off the exit. So Anderson holds on to third, but he's under all sorts of pressure. Knight having another look down the inside at 2. Same deal again, just having to ride the curve. So Andy Booth's just lying back there in wait going, you boys, you deal to each other and I'll pick up the pieces.
And sometimes patience is the best part of discretion, because you have the luxury of saying, right, you two guys are going to happen here. I'm just going to take the spot when it comes available. But you'll see Andy Knight going there being defensive, and he's dropped back 5 or 6 car lengths, so he's got all that hard work to do again.
Tim Edgell going through on board here with Clark Proctor. That's Edgell just up ahead through the chicane now. Edgell's problem in race number 1 of the weekend was a broken left rear brake caliper. It actually broke the caliper and stuck the brake on, and that was the reason for his spin. He still salvaged a finish out of it, but he did leave race 1 with a new track record, 141.0700 for the new lap record holder, Tim Edgell. McIntyre, I don't think you get too much closer than that, Mark.
No, you can't, but this part of the circuit, you're not essentially wasting your time, but the passing opportunities 5, 6 and 7 around this back part are so far and few between that you can monster the car in front, but unless you get a clean execution off turn 8, which we're seeing now come down the back straight, it is all for nothing.
We saw a couple of opportunities yesterday with Chris Pither in the NZV8 Utes. Oh, Boothie, that looks like a big failure. That's either, I think that's engine rather than a rear end. Oh, dramas for Andy Booth in the Big Ben Commodore. He will hold it up down the end of turn number 1. His race looks to be over.
Interesting, Jamie. If you look at that picture, though, you'll see a lot of smoke, but nothing on the ground. Normally indicates an internal failure of the engine, maybe a piston or something like that. So he's done the right thing. That's a professional driver pulling right out of the way to allow the racing to continue.
So that'll bring Eddie Bell up into the 5th position.
Nick Ross, God, he's having a good race, isn't he, there inside the top 10? Currently in 6th. But look at that. The car right there, that is Wade Henshaw. It's got no front splitter. It will have no downforce. He started race 1 at the back, got into 12th, and he's inside the top 10 now.
He was up tonight, so where's that happened? Manuel's carrying some damage to the left rear door of the Oryx Falcon.
The other car's taken a lot of damage as Angus Fogg. He's making his way through the field, but you saw the whole front end stoved in. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just part of street racing in the NZV8.
Well, he was running a lap ago with Kevin Williams. Williams in the sister car, the Strapping Systems Commodore versus the LG Falcon, but Angus looks to have disappeared out of shot. He'd worked his way up inside the top 12 from the rear of the grid after his dramas yesterday. Again, Johnny Mack Morse code through the back of the racecourse.
What's going to happen here, Johnny? The debris flag out, the yellow and red flag we saw in the background. That's just to warn the drivers there is something on the track. It may be from Andy Booth residual from that. You see there's still a lot of smoke hanging about.
Kane's already starting to cover. Lap 6 of 12 for the BNT V8's race 2 from Hamilton. They flash underneath the bridge down into turn number 1.